Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. A happy early Halloween. Holiday seasons are a very solemn time for me because they really accentuate the solo sexual slash single bias that I experience at my day job. And to understand, we got Halloween coming up next week, obviously. I got a few colleagues who have children and want to take their children trick-or-treating, and so I'm filling in for them, which is perfectly fine with me because I don't like trick-or-treating. That's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to be giving poison to our neighborhood children, right? I couldn't live with myself with it. Actually, I have a funny story about the concept of giving poison. One Halloween, I was living in a house in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I was giving kids baking chocolate, and one of the kids threw up eating it off. He wasn't expecting it, and his mom got really concerned and pounded on the door of our home and wanted to know what I had given her son. And she was relieved to hear it was baking chocolate, and then explained that her son had some chronic health issues. How could I do this to him, make them think that her son had ingested some kind of poison? And what was really ironic is that, and I told them, it's kind of funny if you're concerned about poison. I think I'm the only house in this neighborhood that's not poisoning your kid tonight. And she thought about it and realized how right I was. And she got even more defensive about that. And so I don't want to participate in that anyway, which is great, except it doesn't reciprocate. That's my problem. I love filling in for colleagues to take care of their kids. No, that's not the problem. I was working at a tutoring center last year when the holiday season began just like that, and it ended with me getting very angry and quiet quitting out of the job. What had happened was I had a colleague who had just gone through a significant breakup with his fiance. His fiance left him, and from the tone of it, she left him and kind of almost ghosted him, borderline ghosted him, it seemed like. He had 2 kids. I don't think it was from that relationship, but he had 2 kids. He wanted to take the kids' mind off of why mom isn't around, right? The kids are, I want to say, 10 to 15 years old, I want to say. So he took his 2 kids to Disney, and I filled in for him. And while I was doing that, our other colleague got sick as well. So my boss and I had 8-10 students to ourselves for a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I'm thinking to myself, this is great, because it was early October when my colleague, both of them were off. And I'm thinking to myself, this is great. We got Evelina Falenta's birthday coming up, October 24. It's near and dear to me. I know it sounds weird, but it's near and dear to me, just like some people like to take care of their kids, go trick-or-treating. I was thinking, this is great. I'm building up some rapport so that when I take October 24 off, we also had a lunar eclipse that year, among other things that I wanted to take off, where this is great. I'm building up a rapport so I can ask for these days off. Well, my colleague comes back from Disney, my other colleague recovers from COVID, and it didn't play out that way. Nobody could relate to October 24, right? Practically everybody. In fact, at the tutoring center, it was the students who understood solo sexuality more than anybody else, right? My colleagues who were about my age, or one of them was in her 60s. Oh, good luck, right? The students who have a fresh slate, you got somebody who's 15, 16, 17, they understand it perfectly, which is really funny. It really goes to show that we're doing a great job at uneducating people's natural education, right? And unfortunately, here in 2023, I repeat the same old story, right? I have to work yesterday. 2 weeks from now, I'll have to work for, let's see, yesterday was Evelina Falenta's birthday. 2 weeks from now, her great aunt has a birthday, and I'll probably have to work through that as well. That one doesn't bother me as much. Her great aunt was a scientist, and I'm teaching, computer science, so that doesn't bother me as much. But it really reminds me that I'm not as free as I think I am. I need to gain some financial independence, and I'm going to be gaining that by investing in a metal that can now be used to make, well, her great aunt's trademark invention, right? Anyway, and so I bought a few more packages of that stuff. All right. Unfortunately, holidays are a tough time for me because they really accentuate family prejudice and things like that. And I hope to turn things around this year. But I want to accumulate some financial backbone, and then I want to go to the office and speak up a little bit, have more confidence, and not worry about rocking that boat. Too often I worry about rocking the boat. I got a dream job going on. I love my students and all that. Oh my God, I'm not going to rock everything over Evelina Falenta's birthday. Too often I behave like that. But unfortunately, I accumulate a lot of resentment as a result. And then things have a tendency to blow up, right? That's my same old story, year after year after year after year, but especially during the holiday season. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.